Welcome to Running is Bullshit. I'm Amy.
And I'm Stuart, and you're listening to the podcast that loves to hate running. This is episode 162, and this week we're talking about Strava, fell running, being heckled, bad things to find in your shoe, and the best place for a stupid podcast to get a shout out. Or at least, I'm not sure if they're called shout outs in this particular instance, but that's the only lingo we know, so we're going to go with it. Amy, exciting news. Strava's had even more updates.
Ooh, see, I've missed a lot of stuff. I've been so busy. Foreshadowing there for my update later. I've been so busy, I've missed all of this. So the first I heard about this update was when I read it in the show notes.
Such exciting news. No, to be fair, love or hate Strava, they have pushed out a lot of updates in the last couple of years, and this is another kind of slightly weird one. The weird one that I can't quite get my head around is that they now, in your progress tab, give you a breakdown of your run streak, which sounds like a good thing because a lot of people do run streaks like days. This is how many days I've run, but this does it in weeks, and I don't really understand how that's a thing. I don't know who out there is saying, oh, guess what, I've done a run streak. Oh, really? Yeah, 317 weeks.
Well, I wonder whether they don't want to encourage people doing days because of injury. So maybe it's like a smart thing.
Yeah, I feel like, they had the kind of the tech there. They had the code there. So, we can now track and we can show on the nice little display how many days. Oh, but do we want to encourage people to run every single day forever? Probably not. Let's just do it in weeks. And it just seems like a weird compromise because, who has ever told you how many weeks in a row they've run? That's a really strange thing to talk about.
Well, we can talk about it now, though, because now we can track it.
317 weeks, which doesn't mean anything to anyone, does it? Doesn't mean anything to me, so I don't know why anyone else would care. No. It's just a weird thing that they can do, and, why not? Let's just throw it out there, see what happens. Also, more exciting news, new tags have just dropped. Traditionally, all you could tag race, long run, or workout for your runs. And who the fuck was using workout? I mean, occasionally I'd see long run. People would do that. Race, obviously, I'll use race if it's a race because that does, show it slightly different in the app. But workout, who ever used workout? And in running, what does that mean?
I wasn't using any of them, and people used to take the piss because I do some massive race that I was training for, and it'd be like morning run. But then I realised that when you don't change it to race, it doesn't show your elapsed time, it doesn't show your total time, and when you're running ultras it looked like I was doing them quite quickly because it was chopping off all the bits where I stopped and took some pictures and had a shit in a bush and all those things. So I only changed it to race because it seemed a bit disingenuous to have it up there, but otherwise I literally don't. I put it on Strava and I look at it for 5 seconds, then I don't look at that ever again. I don't edit it whatsoever, so I don't use any of this stuff.
Yeah. I do find as you're scrolling back, I think it highlights it in a different colour if it's a race, and that's quite handy if you're just looking for a race quickly. But anyway, they've added a few more to this now. There's now recovery, commute, which I think might have been a tick box, or perhaps a very long time ago it was a tick box. But I remember reading about that, and the tick box didn't do anything at all. And there were loads of people saying, if I put this as a commute, if I tick that box, can you just get rid of it? Can you not show it to people because it's pointless? But I don't think it ever actually did anything. So you can now tag it as a commute now if you want. And there's also with pet, which again I feel like they were going, here we go, we can now, people can, if they run with their dog, they can tag it with dog. And then someone's gone, oh no, but the cat lovers aren't going to like that, or someone's not going to like that, and I imagine again it's a compromise. They've gone, what about with pet? For all those people that might be running with their cockatoos or their guinea pigs.
Yeah, or somebody that you're in some sort of strange dynamic relationship with, and you run with them on a lead or something like that.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
to be fair.
But I am curious now. The only thing I can think of is there's a guy. I sort of follow him on Instagram, but I don't like following him because he's in America and he has views I don't agree with. You can imagine what they are. But he runs with his goats. He has these pack goats and he runs with his goats.
You separate the art from the artist, Amy, and it's fine.
Exactly. Yes. So I do wonder, are people running with donkeys and goats? I don't know. I feel like there's another world we're not aware of. People running with other animals.
Almost certainly, but I imagine that's a vanishingly small percentage. But even so, they didn't want to put dog because they knew they'd get that tiny percentage would kick off. Say, but what about me? I run with my rabbit every week, and this is not fair. So they've had to change it to pet just to appease people.
And I'm sure a lot of people will put that they're running with their pet, their dog, because they'll be running faster when they're pulled along with their dog. For me, it's the opposite. It's like acknowledging that I am stopping every 5 seconds because Pippin has to sniff a very particular bush.
It's very important.
And have a little, so, I feel like there should be a separate category. It's like running with a hound, you know? And then people know.
But you can suggest that maybe. You can email them and say, running with a shit dog.
This is not inclusive. Yeah, running with a shit dog that likes to
shit pet.
Shit
Sorry, shit pet, I should say.
Yeah.
I don't want to put a label on her. But I've always tagged my runs with William. I put a little pause emoji at the beginning, and that just kind of differentiates it, especially for a race. It's kind of handy.
Yeah.
I mean, generally the race kind of title would give it away that it's a Candy Cross race, but I just find that useful for myself. Just as any kind of quick runs might look a bit too quick. It's usually, just to let people know why, just because I don't want to be cheating it. The one I was surprised about, it's the one we've talked about recently a lot. There's no shakeout option. People fucking love shakeouts, don't they? You cannot do any run the day before a race and not call it a shakeout. So the real Strava wankers will be very disappointed they can't tag their shakeouts, but they can tag their recovery runs. So good for them.
Yeah, that is one that's missing. Again, what are the reasons behind that? Surely the people at Strava have that on their radar.
Imagine the meetings. Imagine how many meetings they would have had to add these 3 new tags, and how much work that has taken multiple people to actually do.
Yeah, but it's funny though as well, because wasn't Strava one of these tech companies that's fired a load of people? In the past few years, it was one of those Duolingo or whatever. They were under fire, and everyone's conveniently forgot about it. But they fired a shitload of people, and then suddenly they've got all this new stuff coming out, and I'm a bit
I think it's because they are finally making a bit of money. I think it was one of those companies that for 10 years just lost money, and people kept throwing it at them, and I think they do actually make a bit of money now. But to be fair, they do actually push out quite a lot of updates. I was thinking about this the other day. I remember old mobile phones and old apps were a lot more exciting because when there was an update to your phone on an app, you could see the difference. Now, your phone can be I've just done a massive new update, restart, and you restart the phone and nothing's different. Yeah. On old phones, back in 2011, there would be whole new things, massive new features. Apps would get huge new updates. And I don't even know when my apps update anymore, and I never notice any different. But to be fair, Strava does actually add stuff, and I do see stuff that's different. So that's quite nice.
Yeah, definitely. And they do seem to listen to what people want, because I hate those apps that update in ways where no one asked for this, no one wants this, what a waste of time.
No one wanted this.
Yeah.
It's do you remember when
any examples, but yeah.
Do you remember when Twitter introduced basically their own version of stories? What they called fleets.
Yes. Yeah,
and I'm sorry. I bet Strava are desperate to add that in some way. I bet they want to add those kind of vertical video stories. They would love to do that. I'm sure that I bet someone's working on it, because all tech companies, or not tech companies, they're kind of usually directors and the board and things. No, we want these. Everyone's got these videos now. We want some of those videos. And Twitter tried it, and it was absolute dog shit.
No, exactly. Yeah. Well, we all know how that went for Twitter.
Pretty well, I think. I can't remember. Something like that.
Yeah.
We want to add shit pet and shakeout to the tags on Strava. Anyone else got any other suggestions? What are the common tags? Chatty run with mates, classic.
I've got one. Yeah. Fell over.
But just to explain, just by the way, the time's not very good because I've used the fell over tag.
Fell over. Injured, not injured, because that sounds like you are injured. Something happened. Just something. Maybe that's a tag. Something happened.
Animal incident. Be another handy one.
Animal incident. Yeah.
This is just be useful shorthand. You could just finish. And so instead of putting a big description, you could just go through this list of tags. Animal incident. Fell over. Something fell off. Shoelaces undone.
Shit myself.
Shit myself.
A good one. Yeah.
Just to add a few of those on, just to save people a bit of time. To make it all a bit of a snappy experience. That'd be good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
These
are all good suggestions.
Yeah, perfect. Get on to Strava.
Yeah, you can do it.
So let's catch up on the last episode. Gabby Naya has been in touch, as usual, and said, I love the challenge of shaving especially loathsome paths and trails. My nomination may upset many, but I don't care because I can loathe whichever trail I want. So here goes. Yeah, you tell them. My nomination goes to the Monsol Trail. I mean, it's...
I don't know anything about it. I just wanted to add some drama.
No idea.
I've heard of it at least.
I mean, I haven't heard of it. Where is it?
I don't know. I think there's a parkrun there. That's probably all I know about it.
Okay. That's what you know about it, yeah. I mean, it's lovely. It's an old, disused railway line. It cuts through some gorgeous countryside. It's always busy with people running, walking, cycling, hacking, etc., biking, e-scootering, and even has 3 tunnels. But it's 8 kilometres of soul-sucking, relentless flatness. Or allegedly it's 8 kilometres, but when I did a 50-kilometre ultra recently that included that bit on the Monsell Trail, I'm convinced it was not actually 8 kilometres, but 8,541 kilometres of flat misery. I want hills. Give me all the vert.
So,
I agree.
so
I agree
Gabby,
with flat trails shit.
I was going to say, yeah, that's a slightly controversial opinion there. Gabby not liking flat trails. Well, it's not really a trail, a flat path, and actually wants more hills. I would assume most people would go the other direction on that.
I don't know, though. I feel like if you're into trail running, because when I did the Canham along the canal, that was just, you just wanted a bit of a hill, you know? Because firstly, you don't know when to walk because there's no way, you know, normally you just walk the steep up
When
hills.
do you eat your sandwich? No idea.
Yeah, exactly. And then they got to a point where I'm like, I just want a little downhill to just help me a bit, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a fan either. I'm not a fan.
Yeah, and then same again, listeners, any other bits of path or trail or hills or mountains that you particularly don't like, let us know. We will call them dickheads for you.
Yeah.
And they can't answer back because they're inanimate objects. That makes us feel big. Let's have a tea update. Ooh. We're partnered with Bird and Blend Tea, and that means we'll tell you what tea we're drinking. If you like the sound of it, you can go to runningisbs.com/tea, click on those links, and buy some of that tea if you want. This week from me, an unexpected recommendation, turmeric tea powder. Didn't think I would like it, was given some, because I always kind of assumed like turmeric tea just feels really wanky, doesn't it? It feels like a really like shitty turmeric latte you get in a fancy coffee shop. But I actually looked at it. It's actually more cinnamon than it is turmeric. So well, I like cinnamon, and it's got other like spices in. It's got some, I can't remember. It's got some black pepper and some other spices in. And actually doesn't taste of turmeric at all, because I kind of assumed it'd be kind of a savoury taste to it, but it's not at all. It's sweet, it's spicy, it's very yellow. I've got a vague idea that it's good for you, because it's really highly coloured. And I've just been having it with soy milk, and it's really, really nice. Did not expect to like it, didn't know Bird and Blend did it, but it's very, very nice. Hasn't got a clever name, it's just called turmeric tea powder, which is surprising for Bird and Blend, because they like to give things silly names.
Yeah, I feel like turmeric must have something they could, like some sort of like alliteration they can add on. Yeah. I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but if that was my job...
See, harder than it sounds, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. Give me a whole day on it and I could probably do it.
Sure.
But yeah, like turmeric's supposed to be a really good anti-inflammatory, isn't it? It's one of those things where there's like no proper scientific evidence, but there's lots of evidence of people using it and just feeling better, whether that's a placebo or not.
It's probably something to do with antioxidants. It always is. I don't know what they are. No one knows what they are or what they do, but people know they're kind of good.
And somebody's probably going to write in and say, "Oh yeah, there is scientific evidence for it." Yeah,
blah,
okay.
Blah, blah.
I remember when turmeric lattes were really, really popular. I used to really like a turmeric latte, and now matcha lattes are really popular. And I was on the matcha train before the matcha lattes.
Sure you were.
I'm not drinking a tea. I'm drinking an undisclosed beverage. It's a Pepsi, but my matcha latte advent calendar has arrived.
Oh, yes.
So I'm very much looking forward to that, because when I had it, I don't think I had it last year. I think last year I had the regular tea. I think it was the year before I had the matcha. It was really good. There's some really good flavours, and it's really good value for money, because each little pot, I think I'd usually get 3, sometimes 4 at a push. And whether they've changed the little pot sizes of matcha that you get every day in the advent calendar, I don't know. But I was able to get like at least 3 cups out of it, so it's actually really good value for money. It went on way beyond Christmas, that one. So I'm very much looking forward to trying that. I feel like there'll be some punishment teas in there for sure, because those Christmas flavours, like carrot cake, I know carrot cake's not Christmas, but they always seem to put stuff like carrot cake or even worse, Christmas cake. Like, I wouldn't mind that in a tea, but in a matcha it's minging, absolutely minging. So that'll be my punish. I'll have lots of punishment tea, because I've run out of my punishment tea. I've been really bad, really awful person, so I've run out of punishment tea. So looking forward to that too.
I can quite believe it.
Yeah.
What have you been up to deserve all this punishment?
Oh, well, firstly, because we haven't
We're just
done
going to
this
talk about
for
you moving
ages.
your house. Is that it?
No,
Not
I
moving
mean
your house, moving your house.
before that, I did go to Leicester. I went to Leicester to see family, and of course, if you go to Leicester, you've got to go for a run in Bradgate Park.
You've got to go to
which is
Bradgate Park. You'd be
you
mad not
gotta
to.
go to Bradgate Park.
Can you imagine? Go to Leicester and not going to Bradgate Park?
I know.
Oh,
it's the
bizarre.
only thing that's worth going to that's there, to be honest.
Plus your family?
No, I mean like if you're visiting.
Oh, I see.
I don't know who's visiting Leicester that doesn't have family there, but if you happen to be visiting because you want to see,
I think people go to Bradgate Park, surely.
yeah, exactly. If you want to go to like the National Space Centre or whatever else there, then if you happen to be there, also go to Bradgate Park, historic deer park. There was a shit ton of deer, and I swear they're getting more and more brazen because they were just chilling in the path. They were just absolutely chilling, which was actually pretty cool to see. But yeah, saw lots of deer, which is really, really nice. Did my last few runs in Cardiff. I had planned, so I went on a local run, and there's the remains of an old church on this run, and I've never actually been there. I always like get close, and I never actually went. So one of my last long runs in Cardiff, I was like, right, I'm gonna go find this church. I know where it is. Got a very clear map now. I'm going to go to this church, go see the remains of this church. Meant to be really lovely. So I did my run, and I come around the corner on this trail, and there's a fucking cow. No, 2 cows just stood on the trail, like just stood. And this trail is like a farmer's track. Like they were not supposed to be there, not supposed to be there at all. And they just look up at me and then start running towards me. I had to get out of there pretty quick, so I had to turn around. Never got to see the church. I just think it wasn't meant to be. I just was never meant to see that church. So
I'm looking at your Strava now. I can see where you were going. Yeah, I can see where you're heading.
Yeah.
And so these cows are just on that road. They're not supposed to be on that road, are they? They clearly escaped from the field.
I've gone past there loads of times before. It's where we went like a few years ago.
Yeah, no, they shouldn't be there,
the
definitely.
to the left. No, they were just, honestly, no, I didn't come around the corner. The cows came around the corner. I was running, and one of them just peeked their head around the corner, looked at me. I stopped, and was like, holy shit, it's a cow. And they just started legging it towards me. They just started coming towards me. So yeah, so I didn't hang about. I turned around. Wasn't meant to see it. Wasn't meant to see the church.
Oh, sad.
We'll never see it again. And then I moved house. Yep, that was the main thing. Moved house. It's been like a full body workout every day for a week. It's absolutely exhausting. I've been assembling flat pack furniture, and it's just
nice.
It's done me in. It's done me in. Some of this, don't buy from fucking Wayfair, man. Like, you think it's better than IKEA. It's not. It's not. And the instructions they send you, I mean, Wayfair, I don't know whether it's like an upmarket Temu, because everything comes from everywhere. It comes from the randomest fucking places, like all 4 corners of the globe. And some of this stuff that arrives, you've got to solve a riddle to work out the fucking instructions. And then I'm trying to and it say to you, all you need is a screwdriver. Me trying to put together the fucking wardrobe in our bedroom, and I'm screwing it, and the wood is just like hard. I'm screwing with just a screwdriver, not a drill, a screwdriver. I'm screwing these fucking screws into just hard wood. Horrific. So it was like a full body workout every day, just building furniture. So I didn't do much running there. And I have been out though and explored some of the local trails. Really nice. Went for a nice run this morning. It was one of those runs where I just thought, I'm just going to park up somewhere that looks like I can run and just go for a little bit of an explore. So yeah, it was really nice. I did some of the country lanes. It was one of those things though, I could see some woods on the left of me, and I'm like, there must be a way into these woods. But I think farmers are just barbed wire. That's the thing about living further out in the country. Farmers do not give a shit about rights of way.
No.
There's some woods near our house, and I could see on OS Maps, again, another shout out to OS Maps, love OS Maps, I could see there was a right of way across this field. And I knew I could do this like lovely little circular run across this right of way. And I went looking for it the other day, and just barbed wire. I could see the remains of what would have been a stile that had just been smashed up, and just barbed wire. They just don't give a shit, the farmers.
No.
Absolutely not. And it was the same this morning. I could see where the trail would have been, And they've just blocked the whole thing.
Be
up.
one of those
They've just
people,
blocked it up.
write to the council.
I know. But I kind of understand as well, because I bet the farmers are just sick of people with their dogs going in and just crapping all over their land.
Oh, yeah.
I do kind of get it. That there's probably a reason why it's barbed wired up. And you would get sick of it. Or people going in with dogs that are off the lead and then chasing their livestock. So I don't want to dob them in for that reason. But it was really frustrating because I could see these woods and I'm like, yeah. I could see these woods and I'm like, I know I can get into them, but there was just no way in. I also had a near-death experience.
Of course you did,
as well.
yeah. As usual.
Of course. I wasn't on a run, but it was. So there's some woods really close to our house, but it's one of those woodlands that isn't managed, so it's not like Natural Resources Wales woods where the woodland's properly managed. Mm-hmm. It's just like a woods, So, yeah, I've been going for a run in the woods quite a few times, but we went for a walk, and it was with my mum, actually, and Freya. We were walking through the woods, had all the dogs, and we're walking, and then we hear this, I thought it was gunshots, just like a crackling noise. And I was like, what is that? And it was raining a bit. It wasn't windy at all. No wind whatsoever, just raining a bit. I heard this crackling, and a massive tree just fell on the path behind us.
Ooh.
Literally, we were there, must have been 2 or 3 minutes. And it was just this, I've never heard or seen anything like it. And it was a massive tree. And it must have crackled for a good, a good 20 seconds before it fell. And you just heard it fall to the ground. And honestly, if we'd have been under it a few seconds before, that would have killed somebody. That would have, honestly, and it fell over and it took out a whole fence and stuff. But I've never seen anything like it. It proper shit me up, because if it had been really windy, I would have thought, right, yeah, of course, you shouldn't really be in the woods when it's really windy. It can be dangerous. Trees can. There was no wind. I think it was just rotten. I think the thing was just rotten, and I think maybe the rain or something had shifted something, because it's obviously been raining quite heavily. I've never in my life seen anything like it. Had such a close call. It proper shit me up. I haven't been back in those woods since. I probably will at some point. Not to, and my mum's like, and this is why when you're running in the woods, don't wear your headphones. I'm never going to go running in those woods again. Honestly, it was like Final Destination. I've never, and it's funny because Pippin was off the lead shortly beforehand. But she did her usual thing of being a dickhead whenever she's off the lead in the woods and ran off. So I put her back on literally just before we went past that bit. I put her back on the lead. I'm like, right, you're going back on the lead. And even if she was off the lead, I was thinking if she was just a bit further back sniffing, that would have been, she'd be dead. She'd be dead. She'd be gone. Yeah, it was crazy. It proper scared me. It was actually really freaky. I've never seen anything like that in my life. Terrifying. So yeah,
wow. Never
going there again.
No, probably best.
Yeah, but that's been my last few weeks. Moving house, didn't do any running while I was moving because, like I said, absolutely exhausting. And then I've just been going out and exploring a bit, and nearly dying. So
very nice.
Yeah. How about you?
I was witness to a murder. It's a race called the Murder Mile, so that was my link between those two things. Yeah, I am back on it. I'm doing shit again, so I can fill in some of the running content while you just talk about your life. So this is one of those races I would be really happy to do every single year. Last couple of years I've not been able to. Most people that do it don't like it and don't come back, but I feel like it's one of those races you have to do at least once. It is a 1 mile race, but it has about 200 meters-ish of elevation, all on tarmac. You park at the top, you walk down the hill, and then you have to run or walk back up it. It's awful, but it's brilliant, and I love it, and I think it's a fantastic race. I got a PB, I got a course PB, which is always very, very pleasing, because I always say this race when I'm describing it to people, it's basically double your mile PB, and now my mile PB now exactly matches that, as I ran 11 minutes 20, which is exactly double my mile PB. So I feel like in a way I shouldn't go back, but I will go back because it's a brilliant, brilliant, stupid race. I very much enjoyed that. I also did a race, a fell race, back to doing one of those the first time this year, doing a short fell race on Weinbach. I did not do my research well. I had it in my head until about the day before that it was 8k and 400 meters elevation, which is kind of roughly what these races usually are. Then I realised it was 11k and 600 metres of elevation, so that was going to be harder than I thought. The start was a 1k downhill, which is always a bad sign in a fell race because it's all on tarmac, so quite quick. and then obviously just gives you more hill to climb. Then I spent about 4.5k climbing to the peak of Weinberg, which is 811 meters high, so it's pretty serious high mountain, that one. And then it was just in the clouds along the ridge with about 50 feet of visibility, and just kind of doing my best basically just to keep one person ahead of me, just so I could see where I was going. And once it actually cleared, I did actually say like "wow" out loud, because the views were just so good. I was
like a cartoon character.
Yeah, it really was. I was really excited because I'd just been in the clouds for ages, and it just all of a sudden you could see like the soft slope of the hill ahead of me that I was going to be running along, and then all like the green fields and the farmland behind. It was absolutely beautiful. I really out loud, I was just like, wow, look at that. It was really, really good. I knew the downhill at the end was along the Dragon's Back, which I've kind of sort of heard of, and I've heard people talk about. I thought it was going to be one of those really short, sharp downhills that you can't really enjoy. Turns out it was over 3k of like technical but runnable downhills. So I absolutely fucking loved that. I was with a little group of people and I left them for dead and did loads of overtaking. It's got like, as you go down, it kind of, you get to like a rocky outcrop that you can kind of run over, and then it drops down a bit, and then you kind of, it flattens off again. You go over another outcrop and then it drops and flattens again. So it is like a proper like stepped down over a couple of miles as well. And it's just one of the best bits of a race I've ever run. It was absolutely brilliant. I'd really, really happily go back and do that one again. It would have been really nice to actually take it easy and look around a bit, but I fucking love a downhill. And I was overtaking people all the way down and just enjoying myself far too much. Because it's a fell race, obviously they made it really difficult at the end. There was another little climb at the finish, a really nasty, steep little climb that you couldn't really run. And everyone's just kind of on top. It felt a bit like you look up, you see all these people like along like the silhouette of the top of this hill, and it reminded me a bit of Monty Python and the Holy Grail, of like the French soldiers on top of the castle taking the piss. It felt a bit like that, because they do often like shout at you saying, he's right behind you, you got to sprint, because you know you have to do that because it's funny, and obviously there's no one behind you, but there was a lot of that going on. But yeah, really, really good fun. Finished in an hour 13. Very, very happy with that. And because it's a fell race, we went back to the pub and we had free chips and rolls, because that's what fell races do. Love that kind of thing. 100% on my list to return to hike it or an easy run. If you're in the Black Mountains, you want to do a run around there, park up the Dinas Castle Inn. You can navigate it pretty easily. GPS on your watch. You just kind of go straight up the hill, turn left, along the hill a bit, turn left, come down the hill, and then you're back at the pub. It's absolutely fantastic. One of my favourite routes I've ever done. Really want to go back and do it again. Nice. I also went to West Wales this week, did a run in the Preseli's, which a lot of people told me about. They're really nice. There's a race there called the Preseli Beast, and I was turning that route, and I told it was really good. Went up there, had a miserable time because it was raining and really windy. It was really muddy, could barely run any of it because it was so muddy. I had my dog with me, and I couldn't have him off lead because there were sheep everywhere, so I'm being pulled along in the mud. A lot of the path just didn't really kind of exist. They're just kind of, it's just like a bare mountainside. Well, kind of a hill, barely even a mountain, frankly. Just a hillside, very grassy, could very, very, hardly see any of the path. And by the time I got to the top of the hill, I was kind of shouting, and I still couldn't hear myself because it was so windy. And I've got poor William, my dog, just cowering and being like, "Can we go back now?" He keeps pulling. He doesn't shy away from it, but you could tell he was just like, "The fuck is this?" It was horrible, horrible weather. Did not enjoy that at all. And then parkrun the other day. Went in there not intending to run fast, but because it was a relatively small field, did that thing of, I mean, this means nothing to you, Amy, so you can ignore this whole rest of this bit, but a lot of people will know this bit. When you go to a park run, even small race sometimes, it gets about 10 seconds before the start, but no one dares stand on the start line. Everyone is about 10 feet away from it. Even like the people that are clearly quite fast are all like, "Oh, I don't want to be next to the start line." Everyone kind of shies away. So I found myself quite close to the front, and it started, and within 200 metres or so, I found myself in fourth place. So I thought, oh, that's pretty good. Perhaps I'll just, get around and I'll try and finish fourth, I guess. I might as well do that. But then about a kilometre later, I saw the lad in third who dropped off the other two, and I thought he's getting a little bit slower. And so then I'm like, well, now, of course, I have to spend the entire rest of this park run trying to catch him, which I did with about a kilometre to go. So I did spend that kind of, that last kilometre checking over my shoulder. Turns out he was about 16, so he's like less than half my age. But I beat him, and that's the main thing, and I finished third. It's the first time I finished third at parkrun without a dog attached to me, so that was very satisfying. Nice. So I did enjoy that, but it's just like, I did not intend to run fast, and then, now I have to catch this guy, now I have to have a race. Damn it. But I beat him, so that's the main thing. Yeah. That's about all I've been up to, just that. Probably some other things.
It's been a while.
Also in this gap, we got sent a pretty incredible screenshot. We can add to our list of very silly things we didn't expect to happen, like when we got randomly recommended on Radio 4.
You know what? Every now and again I remember that, and I'll be like, that's so weird. Like, who's listening? Because I'm assuming you didn't email them. Like, who's listening to us at the BBC?
They just found us somehow and feature. If people missed that bit, if you just look at our website, runningsbs.com, it's on the front page. I've linked it to it. I re-recorded it. It's linked there from the front page because it's very funny. So we can say the Radio 4 recommended podcast. We got no listeners from it, by the way. I checked the analytics over that period. Got no one at all listen to us from it. Anyway, to go alongside that, we can now add our former guest, Bethan Taylor-Swain, has included us as a reference for her PhD thesis. So that means alongside some proper articles and academic work, there will also be an entry that says, mashed potato in a bag is bullshit.
I bet her examiners are going to be like, what is this? They'll probably have to listen to it as well.
I hope so. That is just wonderful. I mean, shout out to the academics listening to this in the future who found us that way. I'm sure there's people that have read that thesis years to come and they've gone, oh, mashed potato in a bag is bullshit. That sounds really good. I'm going to listen to that. So hi to you guys.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Bethan, for that. It's an honour to be included in a PhD thesis.
I mean, yeah, we need to start making a list of these, definitely.
Well, that's the two.
Well, yeah, but
it's not much of a list.
It's going to keep coming, I imagine. It'll be
Of course,
a snowball
yeah.
effect.
Yeah. If you want to support us supporting the world of academia and propping up small Radio 4 shows about podcasts that no one listens to or pays attention to, apparently, you can go to patreon.com/runningisbullshit and donating money every month. Now, actually, Jonathan Carter did ask on Facebook, since Amy's now moved house, as a patron, does he own a proportion of your house? And I said we would see him in court about that.
Yeah.
If that's the way he wants to go, if he wants to play dirty, we absolutely will.
Yeah, exactly. No, not at all. No. I mean, once you've given me that money and it's paying my mortgage, no, it's mine.
Yeah, absolutely. And we will take the money that you've paid us and we will pay for a lawyer.
Yes. Exactly.
to take you down.
A very good lawyer, or maybe a very, very cheap lawyer.
Very, very cheap one. No new patrons this month, thank goodness. So here's everyone that did donate to us. Thank you very much. Matt Burrows, Kat Abigail Hardman, Kevin Scott, AP, Matt Newbury, Nikki Jones, Elliot Line, oh god please stop singing, Matt Garner, Len Martin, Julia Page, Brian Simpson, Nikki, Genders, Rachel Bullmore, Steve Peake, Samantha Lachlan, Larry Warren, Gail Seal, Ian Hales, Victoria Magnus, Paul Herbert, David Owen, Tony Howard, Gabby Thomas, Naya Tom, Paul Cock, Martin Kaplan, Matt Lees, Charlie Neverson, Matt Jones, Karen Hamilton, Raymond Quinn, Graham Hagland, Tony Bates, Bill Brute, KP, Alice Newstead, Karen Blade. Ken Smith, Angela Foster Swales, Ivor Hewitt, Francis Howell, Erica Varys, Victoria Dick, Rich Skirm, Rachel Bentley, Amanda Murray Hind, Sherry Grubbs, Jenny Tamasebi, Liz Reese, Anna Jeziorski, Derry, Erin Shaw, Charlie, Amber, Chris Whitmore, HP, Matt 8, Victoria Cousins, Anthony Howe, Gemma Roberts, Jason Spinks, Gladina, Lisa Gibb. Mike Gascoigne, Leewood, Stuart Stevens, Ruth Perkins, McAfee, Andy Robbins, Kiara Evans, Taryn Milligan, Sandra Heinz, David O'Bankito, Andy Nichols, Sandra Aldred, Mark Willis, Shambolic Adult, J. Daniel Braun, Debbie Hurler, Carol Ryder, Drew Edgar, Steve Robson, Penny Simpson, Maria Wicks, Kath Everard, Ian Thompson, Elizabeth Strand, Jonathan Carter, Cheryl Current, Neil Denton, Tony Boyle, Fergus, Cat Williams. sorry to the people at the end.
Don't forget to get in touch with your running bullshit on Twitter, Instagram and Facebook. Just search Running is BS and let us know why you particularly hate running this week.
First up, an email from Amy's mum, of course. Hi. I like this first bit because it starts, so, in the podcast absence, and that's where you get it from.
Yeah.
your initial, so.
So.
In the podcast absence, I have taken leave of my senses and signed up to a running program. I'm on week 5 and can now run for around 20 minutes in 6-minute intervals, and most days it's bullshit. Turning 60 in August has challenged me to try this running lark. I've got a coach, but because we're nomadic, she's a virtual coach and there to push me along. So in the 5 weeks, I've puffed and panted in Kent, the Cotswolds, Wales, Leicestershire and Norfolk, between pet sitting and helping with house moving. All I know is I can only run in flat places and plan to focus all my attention on moving to the Netherlands or Lincolnshire. Anyway, many years of listening, mainly because I feel I have to, has eventually motivated me to run. Oh dear. That's from Amy's mum, brackets, Nikki. I feel like we've heard this before, haven't we?
I don't know.
There's been some aborted attempts, I think.
Yeah, but to get to the point where you're running 6-minute intervals is very good because a lot of people do give up before that. So yeah, I went for a run with my mum a few days ago and she's doing really well. She had like a optional interval at the end and she did it. She smashed it. Of course, so nice. yeah, she's doing really, really well. So
is she free for like a couple of hours every 2 weeks?
Yeah.
It'd just be nice to have someone on the podcast that regularly that does some running. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, outsource it absolutely. Like I have no issue with that. Yeah, get someone else on. Okay. Sure, I can put you in touch. Email her back.
I can't really use that as a threat to you, can you? Because you'd be like, yeah, I'm going to work.
Yeah, good, brilliant idea. Yeah, absolutely. If anyone listening wants to co-host the podcast, get in touch. Erica Varis Doggett says the most BS are all the non-running things you're supposed to do to get stronger and prevent injury. Gym days are hard. Whine.
Yeah, that's why I stopped.
Yeah, I don't do the gym anymore. Especially, I've moved now, so I cancelled obviously my old membership, and there was a gym right by where I lived, where I used to live, and there is a gym. There's a few gyms around here, but I'm just using the excuse of, oh no, it's too far away now. I'm not doing it. I'm not going.
Good for you. Yeah, I went for like 6 weeks. I really tried. I went for 6 weeks, but I was only going once a week. I didn't see any immediate improvement, so I just gave up because it was hard and I didn't like it.
I feel like if you're trail running as well, you can say, well, you know, trail running's a full body workout. And
it is, yeah.
It's hills, so it's strengthening your glutes and you don't need to go and squat. Like, yeah, if you're just running flat roads, of course you need to go to the gym. But if you're a trail runner...
These are good excuses.
The world's your gym. The world's your gym.
Absolutely.
Don't worry about it.
Picking up trees off the path, all the kinds of stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Hopping over stiles. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, that reminded me. Well, when I was in the Presellis, one of the stiles I went over was just like 2 bits of wood through a barbed wire fence. And I had William with me. And there was like a piece of pipe over like 18 inches to cover some of the barbs. But yeah, I just had to kind of go over first and just like lean over and pick him straight up by the harness and like lift him really high across while he's flailing his legs around. I just got up to him like, this is just a barbed wire fence. There's no like gate or anything like that. So okay, it's a bit risky. Don't like that at all. Jay Weimer says, managed 95 miles of a 130-mile ultra, had to DNF due to ankle tendonitis. Still not running, and that was 2 weeks ago. I'm already planning on doing it again next year. Why? Ugh. Why are you planning? No, give up.
Yeah.
That's awful.
I feel like doing 95 miles is a good achievement in itself. I'd be like, yeah, that was really good.
But at the same time, 95 miles, and you still didn't finish. That's so rough.
I know. That would piss me off.
Does that hurt more than the ankle? Probably not.
It sounds like it as well, doesn't it? But then when you think you've got another sort of 35 miles to run, that is a lot. But at the same time...
That's a really long way,
Yeah, that is a really long way. But when you think, 95 out of 130, we're like, well, actually, that's fine. That's not far at all.
I ran 95 miles and failed. Oh, yeah. Sorry, Jay.
Ria Eris says, when your new Run Club vest is completely the wrong colours to do muddy trail runs while wearing it, but you really want to wear it, I see road running in my future. Ew. What?
Oh, this must be a very white club vest.
I was going to say, what colours are they?
That's very sad. It would be sad, like if you found a club to join, there was loads of really nice people, you really wanted to get on there, but the vest was really shit. It was like some really ugly colours. Oh, that'd be a real shame.
Yeah, or when they sort of design the logo of the club and put it all over the vest and it's just shit. It's just that all their gear is just shit. Like, yeah.
It reminded me the other day, I was chatting to people and they were talking about how if you do like a UTMB, do you get a tattoo the same way you get like an Iron Man tattoo? But then someone said, have you seen the UTMB logo? And like, if you haven't, you should look it up, because it is like if Comic Sans were a logo.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing. It's so like clip art from Word 97. I don't understand how they're that big and they've still got such a shit logo. They keep buying races. They haven't bought any brand design companies for a little while, clearly. No. So no one is going to have that logo on their calf, because they would be embarrassed.
I think it's one of those things, though, is like these sorts of logos, they'll become cool. It's like fashion, they'll become cool again at some point. It will all come back around, that sort of
little
look.
Cartoonish, like running person with their arms flailing.
Yeah.
It's horrible. Gemma Roberts said, out for a run around my village and minding my own business, and a man rolls down his van window on the way past to shout, "Run, fatty!" on the way past. I've lived with this kind of thing for a while, so threw out a swift retort of, "I'm certainly trying to," and continued my run. I love how I was going to say we, but generally women are so polite in that reply. It's kind of it's slightly pissy, but also very, very polite at the same time. It's a weird kind of reaction I think British people have. Anyway, she says, heading back into my village on the return leg, I noticed a junction ahead with a 4x4 waiting to turn. I locked eyes with a middle-aged man, and the window started slowly rolling down. Here we go, I thought. As I ran up to his car, he shouted, "Are you going to the pub? You probably need a drink." I smiled and waved, and we both continued on our way. I'm still confused if I was heckled or not. So, yes, hecklers are bullshit, maybe?
I mean, you were staring at him, so he probably just felt like he needed to say something.
Yeah, did you start staring first?
Yeah. But that other person, that's crazy. I assume the thing is with stuff like this, I assume they don't live there, because it's like shitting on your own doorstep. Like, why are you causing havoc village, where you live? Like, it's a really weird thing to do. But yeah, I think it's one of those things though as well, like the politeness thing. When I've had stuff said to me before, I'm so taken aback that you just, in that moment, you're like, whoa, and you just go for like sometimes what can be a weird response, and obviously you look back afterwards and like, oh, I wish I'd said this and that. But
it's a de-escalation, isn't it? You're always trying to just de-escalate.
Yeah, exactly.
I think a lot of people say like, oh, I'd fucking give him what for and all that, but I guess in the moment you don't.
No, exactly. But it's just one of those things where you just get caught so off guard. Like, I've had people say really rude stuff to me before, and I've been like, what? And because I'm caught so off guard, I'm like that, because you just don't expect people to say stuff like that. I mean, you do, but at the same time, you don't. If you get what I mean, like, it's men shouting out of windows.
You expect it, broadly speaking, but not at the exact moment.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
So, are you going to the pub? You probably need a drink. Is that heckling in the same way? I don't know.
I feel like that's a weird attempt to be friendly and say something, but not really knowing what to say. Like,
it does feel like it probably is. Yeah, it probably is that kind of, oh, you look like you need a drink. Oh. Yeah. It's like a bit of bands, but I think, as you've said before, just say fucking nothing. Yeah, you don't need to make a joke.
I don't know whether I've ever, and there's probably people who have experienced this. I don't think I've really experienced women doing that. No. Shouting out the car at people. Like, sometimes, like, especially older people, like men and women, will say something as you run by to be friendly. That's one thing. That doesn't seem to have a gender. Like, they'll say good morning, and they might say something.
Like, if someone's walking past you and they shouted that to you, or said that as you went past, you'd probably like laugh and say, "Oh yeah, me too." Because it's out of a car, it's that context, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the weird bit, because they're almost in a position of power there where they can just head off, It's not like they're, like you say, if you're walking or running past somebody in the street and they say something, you can turn around and be like, what are you saying? Like, whereas they can just, it's a cowardly thing to do. But
and no one ever winds down their window to say, "You're doing fantastic, well done."
Yeah,
that doesn't happen. People don't. The only reason people get shouted out of cars is for bad reasons.
But even if they did say well done, I'd be like, fuck off. Why are you necking? Concentrate on driving. Like, what? Leave me alone. Stop getting involved. What's wrong with you? Weird behaviour. Ugh. Hey, you know what though? I do wonder. Like, I'd be clocking down their number plate and I'd just be 101 in it. I don't care. And they'll probably say like, no, but I'd just be reporting it. I'd be reporting that. I'd be reporting it for abuse. I don't care if people think I'm a snitch. I'd do that.
Good for you.
Whatever. So another message. Hi, Stuart and Amy. After hearing in a recent episode you both talk about how stones in shoes are annoying, but you try to run and ignore it, I was reminded of something that happened a while ago. I was out for a run along a stony track and felt something dig into the sole of my foot. I tried to ignore it for a bit, but it wouldn't move around, so I stopped and took my shoe off, gave it a shake to get out any little stones, and then carried on. I could still feel it though, so after trying to ignore it some more, I stopped again and took my sock off, wondering if the stone was in there. I could still feel it, so in the end gave up. When I got back and took my shoes off, I found a shard of glass in the sole of the shoe. Oh my god, the tip of which was poking through to my foot. No wonder it was uncomfortable. Jesus, so glass in shoes is very much BS, and I am very lucky that it didn't cut my foot. Thanks again for the pod. Looking forward to the next one as usual. Maria Wicks. God. Oh, you've done some sort of like initiation ceremony doing that. You probably reached enlightenment running on a shard of glass for however many miles. That's insane.
That's really rough. And it's so lucky because if you just stood on the edge of a curb or like one particular protruding stone, that could have pushed that glass even further up into your foot. But it's just the tip, just poking through the sole.
God.
Oh. So anyone now running feels just a little tiny thing in their shoe, and we're going to make them all paranoid now. Glad Maria's foot is okay. Another message here, another email this one, from Ken Smith, who says, Hi Stu and Amy. First, on the subject of difficulty in running in certain places, my friend maintains she can run road hills but not trail hills. My nickname for her is Medusa, because of curly hair and a death stare, since you ask. And I have named her least favourite off-road hill Perseus, but she thinks it's such a killer. Second, what... God, this is a strange start to an email. Second, what is it with these people who put everything on Strava? Dog walks to the start of a race, walks with their kids, not to mention yoga, Pilates, weights and trips to the loo. Okay, I made up the last one, but you get the message. Third, I know running in races with your music broadcasting to the nation is not good, but what about when you're marshalling? Is inflicting your tunes on others allowed? Obviously, I feel your opinions are really important and influential, as I see you two as role models and persons of profound wisdom. Is that too much? Thanks, Ken. No, that is perfectly normal to hold us in that kind of regard. The first part I don't think we can talk about because I don't even particularly massively understand it. Secondly, in terms of people putting everything on Strava, yes, I put everything on Strava. I did triple jump and put it on Strava for my 30-metre run-up, and I maintain that's a good use of Strava, and that's fine. Amy doesn't care about Strava. She doesn't look at it for anyone else's stuff, so we can skip that one as well. Amy, marshals at races or parkrun playing their music. How do you feel about it?
I think it's a no. I think if you're doing a race with checkpoints and the vibe of a checkpoint is they play, it's still really fucking annoying, but like they play music, all of that sort of thing. Okay, I guess. Like some people are into that sort of thing, but no, I guess it depends as well. If you're doing like a road race, I feel like that sort of thing is more acceptable for there to be music and all that sort of thing. If you're doing a trail race, I don't really want to be hearing other people's music, Yeah,
not in the countryside, no.
No. So, and at a park run, if it was a park run, a marshal, I just feel like it's irritating. And it's that... I take the pressure. Who thinks that their music is good enough to play in front of other people? Do you know what I mean? Like if I was put in a position where somebody said you got to, I'd be like, I wouldn't even know what to play. Like,
you know what I really admire when I get in someone else's car and they put on some of their music, and I'm like, to me that's ballsy. If anyone gets in my car, I'm not playing my own music. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I don't play my own. Even then, you're like, oh, is my radio station going to work for them? No, tough shit. But I won't play the music I like to other people because I assume they're not going to like it.
Yeah. Yeah,
so like, who's just playing their music? I feel there's a little bit of attention seeking going on when they're playing music out loud, because often they might be there and they'd be the ones with a personality. They might be having a little bit of a dance and shouting things to runners as well. I feel there's a little bit of that going on as well.
No.
There's a few people listen to this shaking their heads because they exactly do this, and now they think I'm having a go. But
well,
you're out there.
Yeah, each their own. I know some people really like that, and it's a really good pick me up. So I get the sentiment. I get that it's a nice sentiment, but it's not my cup of tea.
At least you get away from them quite quick. Once you pass them, you're gone.
Yeah, unless it's an ultra and you're like sat in the chair for like 10 minutes. And, oh my God. Yeah, no.
Banging some tunes in your face. Woo, 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 woo. Yeah, let's go.
Oh, God. Vicky Bayandani has been in touch to say some adults do cry at being overtaken at a race. My friend and I ran a long trail run in the Lake District. I was feeling absolutely knackered, but with the finish line in sight, my friend and I ran for the line, overtaking 2 people who were walking. One of them was then crying. Apparently it was my fault for passing her. What the hell? It's a race. It's a race, but also, are you sure she wasn't, or they, sorry, I shouldn't, do they say it's a she or a he? Are you sure they weren't crying because they were happy to finish the race? Because that's bizarre. That's bizarre behaviour. Who cries when somebody overtakes them?
I kind of thought this, because it's a really long trail run, maybe, it could be someone that's got to the end, they're having a really fucking miserable time, they've hated the whole thing, they're just about to get it, and then someone else runs past them, like, sprinting, look like they're having fun, and I can imagine that just tips you over the edge. You're like, fuck it, and that is just tipped them right over. And they're just to let it all out or have a terrible time they've had.
Yeah, that must be it. And maybe it's that feeling of, like, maybe they just feel really shit about themselves and just, everyone's overtaking
I'm really shit,
me.
I've done so badly. And then, someone just sprints past you having a great time. Fuck you.
Oh, my goodness. Well, I hope that's the case and not some sort of entitlement that they shouldn't be overtaken, maybe. I don't know.
That's what you get for walking.
Yeah.
Rachel Bournemore says, for 2 years back to back, I've been injured or too ill to run the London Vitality 10K. So I thought third time's a charm and signed up for this year. And then I go and spoil it all by doing something stupid like getting COVID 9 weeks before the run. I know, how retro to get COVID, and yes, it really is still a thing, and it knocked me sideways. I'm 2 weeks out the other side, but still wheezing and can barely walk 5k, never mind run 10k. But I need to get back into training, so I have a hope in finishing before the sweep-up crew come for me. Pity party for one aside, I do actually want to do this one, as it's been on my to-do list since I started running during lockdown back in 2020.
Oh, is it back? COVID's back, isn't it? I mean, it's going to come back every winter, but I know that people are getting, well, I guess it's like just getting a really nasty cold or flu now, isn't it? We're just going to get it every year, but it's no joke. When I had COVID, I think I was really unwell for 2 weeks, and then it took me pretty much a month to properly recover from it. It's no joke at all.
Yeah, it feels like, from my very amateur viewpoint of it, it's like a very bad flu, but then it's the recovery that takes a lot longer, and it will affect you for a lot longer than a normal illness would. Yeah,
exactly. So that absolutely sucks. And people are like, oh yeah, COVID, so 2020, but it's just going to come back every year pretty much. I don't think it's going anywhere, and it's probably going to get worse every year as well. And yeah, great.
That's the spirit.
So yeah, I feel for you. Yeah, I think I had COVID really early on in the pandemic, and it was all right. But the second time I had it I've never been so ill in my life. So yeah, I do empathise with that. Dan Moody says, my niece, Kat Hopper, ran the Across Wales Walk 45 miles in just over 10 hours. Wow. It took me 17. She's 14 years old, and she was First Lady. What? He says you should do it next year, as A, it's not as far as the Dragon's Back, and B, there's plenty of danger to provide near-death content. Oh my god, I haven't actually clicked on this.
I'm kind of glad this is a race in a way, because it's one I've thought about before. It's basically the narrowest point of Wales, right in the middle. 45 miles across. And I've always thought that would be a really good race. I didn't know it was a thing. I guess it's called the Across Wales Walks. Perhaps it's more of a walk. Perhaps it feels like a bit of a long-distance walking association kind of thing. But I thought that would be good. I thought there must be like a good Welsh word for belt or something like that. That would be a good name for it. But it is a race already, so someone's beating me to it. Anyway, I particularly like the website. It's a bit of an old school website, but I like it because there's a page on there called The Hard Truth, which spells out exactly how hard it is. And I think more races should have this. I know everyone's like, oh, we're so inclusive, and oh, it's a great challenge. And this is like, no, this is really fucking hard. Yeah. It might sound quite easy, but it's not. And I really love that. And I know they're a hardcore group because they don't say recce. They say you should go for a full reconnoiter. I'm like, that's proper hardcore. They get the full word in there. Yeah. And my favourite thing, they also intermittently award a giant wooden spoon to someone who fucks up in a funny way after someone climbed barbed wire and this is a quote from the website, sustained a puncturing injury to a sensitive area of her female anatomy. And that was back in 1985. And so every few years, when the occasion arises, they give a giant wooden spoon to someone who particularly fucks things up.
Oh my god, I'm looking at the website now. It is fantastic. I love the logo has clearly been designed in Microsoft Paint.
Yes.
I respect that. That's fantastic. Yes. It's giving like graphic design is my passion. You know, it's absolutely, it's amazing. This does sound good. I feel like if a website has a section called The Hard Truth, I feel like I'm not going to be able to do it, but I'd give it a go, no. You know.
But you would absolutely get that spoon.
I would. Several times. I'd have like a whole like cutlery drawer of spoons. So, yeah. That does sound good. It does sound 6th of September is a good time as well because it's not going to be it's not going to be too hot and it's not going to be too cold. I feel like that's a good one.
It's going to be net downhill.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. And 45 miles in 18 hours isn't too bad. That's not too bad. It's open to walkers as well.
Pencil it in for next year.
Okay, I'll pencil it in. That does sound good. That sounds like a good one. I will consider it. It's the potion. Running new. First up, we've got something like really depressing.
This is not good.
Yeah, this is not good. And this is one of those things where I read the headline and I thought, oh, this is just one of... Because I actually saw this whenever it first came out. And I was like, this is just a scare... You know, this is just a clickbait, scare people... Yeah, but actually, it's not. So
I'm scared, so...
Yeah. Researchers find strange link between marathon running and cancer. Oncologists at the Invershire Cancer Institute, I hope I pronounced that correctly,
Probably.
In Virginia, have conducted a study which examined the colons of relatively young people who had run several long-distance races. And they found these runners had a much higher rate of having potentially dangerous adenomas. Again, apologies, probably pronouncing that wrong. Adenomas. Than would be expected for their age. And although the findings are preliminary and require more confirmation, they may point to a real connection between colon cancer and extreme physical activity. So, just put it in perspective, around 1.2% of people in their 40s at average risk of colon cancer would be expected to have advanced adenomas, according to the researchers. But by contrast, 15% of the runners they studied had them. So, there's this clear sort of increase in your risk of colon cancers among long-distance runners. And of course, they're then wondering what the cause might be, and they need to do some further research to get a clearer answer to this. So some scientists are speculating it's related to the gastrointestinal distress that runners can experience, basically when you get the shits when you're running. And of course, some people get that just in the first mile, let alone running long-distance races. And this is sometimes caused by temporarily restricted blood flow to the intestines that damage nearby cells. So that can be a cause of getting the shits when you're running. And it's possible that extreme runners who regularly experience this blood flow loss can develop the sort of chronic inflammation that makes cancer more likely to emerge. So saying that could be the reason runners' shits could be giving us cancer, basically.
Cool, thanks. Just a light one to start on.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Great.
I guess if you've got a history of that in your family, probably see someone, maybe, if you're doing lots of very silly ultras.
And by the sounds of it, in the article, they are going to be doing further studies around this. So I'm sure there'll be a clearer idea of what's actually causing it and what the risks are. Because I think this was a fairly small sample. And while like the percentages are very high, they need to do some more research into it as well to get a better idea. So yeah, great.
Anyway, a slightly lighter one, but somewhat scandalous. This is a Facebook post by a former guest, Dumb Runner, from the great website What Dumb Runner. It said, years ago I stopped wearing a watch on my runs. The catalyst for this was an epiphany I had during a run that made me realise my watch was doing me more harm than good. I was still writing for Runner's World at the time, and I wrote a column about that experience titled Off the Clock. I just tried Googling it and learned that the link now redirects to an article titled The Best 5 Basic Running Watches Go Hard on Features and Easy on Your Wallet, which is just wow.
It's like a big fuck you, isn't it?
But that is so fucking Runner's World.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And yeah, I did the same thing. If you search for that title and you get the title, it comes up, it says Off the Clock, it's going to be an article by this guy in Runner's World. You click it and it redirects you to another one that sells you watches.
Nice.
So when you're Googling, like, oh, how do I get rid of my watch? Ooh, I wonder if other people have had experiences not using their watch. They're like, yeah, buy a watch.
Yeah, Runner's World is at the forefront of late capitalism, isn't it?
Yeah. But these watches, they are easy on your wallet. So
yeah, exactly.
that is something to consider. And they do go hard on features from what I've heard.
Exactly.
That's just it's such an intentional shitty move as well, isn't it? Someone has specifically chosen that article. They've seen it still getting traffic. This quite an old article. They've seen it's getting traffic, and they've gone, we'll redirect that.
Yeah, that's it. Because if it wasn't in keeping with their ethos, they could have just gotten rid of the article.
Yeah.
But
they just deleted it
as
one thing. But that's a very intentional move. Very, very cynical. And I find it very funny.
It's absolutely hilarious. Speaking of absolutely hilarious, well, not as hilarious actually, but the Great North Run medals this year show Sunderland instead of Newcastle. So the medal was supposed to feature an aerial view of Newcastle, Gateshead, South Shield and the River Tyne. I have no idea about these because I'm not from up north. However, it actually showed nearby Sunderland and the River Wear, which have no involvement in the event. The Great Run company admitted it had, quote unquote, made a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
As far as I know, like, they're meant to be rivals, which most cities that are places that are near each other aren't they? So Newcastle,
yeah,
Sunderland,
this is one of those.
Yeah.
Of all cities to get wrong, it's that you chose the wrong city to get wrong.
Yeah, and to top it off, at the end of the article, it said the Great Run company also apologised to runners who did not receive a finisher's T-shirt in South Shields. There had been complaints that there were no longer larger sizes available later in the day, and a spokesperson said organisers were aware that a small proportion of runners were given a finisher bag without a T-shirt. Why does this keep happening? Why do these big races keep running out of shit? I don't understand.
I've no idea. The T-shirt thing is bizarre. How do they keep? I know they suppose they get however many, 60,000 entries, and they think, right, fine, we'll probably get 55,000 turn up, and I guess they just get the number of T-shirts wrong. But I guess that seems to happen quite a lot. But
yeah, but
again, it's a big company. They shouldn't be making this mistake.
Yeah, and either find a way to recycle the excess sustainably. I imagine it's more about cost cutting than waste, but either find a way to recycle any excess sustainably, or stop giving out T-shirts and offer something else instead that can definitely be donated or whatever after the fact, you know, because I understand, like, clothes donations, there's way too many clothes being donated, full stop. So don't offer T-shirts and offer something more sustainable. I don't know, it just seems silly, because you can't just not, when people are paying a lot of money for a race, a lot of money, you can't just not give them something they paid for. That's the thing as well. It's like any other consumer product. If you were buying something and then you didn't get the thing you paid for,
it's almost certain these T-shirts aren't in any way sustainable, because they'll all be from the Far East, and they'll be very, very cheap. I'm certain, because they're buying so many of them, they'll be buying as cheap as possible, which I'm certain means they will not be at all recyclable, which is a real shame.
just stop doing T-shirts, just offer something more interesting. There we go. Or something consumable, food, just offer food.
Of course. Also with the medals, I can kind of see, because I think if I've seen like the air reviews compared, and I guess at a glance, just the curve of the river does look a little bit similar between Newcastle and Sunderland. But again, of all the things to get wrong, it's clearly a designer who has no idea of the actual location. It's clearly not someone in any way local. They've just taken a piece of map and then put the words Newcastle Gateshead on there when it's clearly a different city. But can you imagine getting those 60,000 medals turn up, and you go through the box and you open that box and you look at the first one and you're going, oh, fuck. And you've got 60,000 of them there. And what can you do?
They had one job to depict the city the race was in.
Yeah,
that was it.
You'd think. Not. And the amount of people that must have looked at it and gone, yeah, fine. Yeah, sign that off.
Yep.
And imagine their social media person being like, oh, I want to do a nice post about the medals. Oh, no, better not.
Yeah.
Oh.
Anyway, Stuart, are you running any races that will depict a different city on the medal?
Your segues are getting, I mean, I don't want to say worse, but they're bad. And they're not getting better. So let's put it that way. I've been thinking recently, I don't have like a big A race. I don't think I have like a big plan for the autumn winter, but I am starting to get excited because this time of year it means Winterfell races, it means cross country and canicross, and I'm starting to plan those out now. There's quite a few canicross races I can do. I can probably do 2 rounds of the British Championships again to get myself a ranking, so I can do that again next year because it is in Wales again this year, which is great. Which means coming up there is plenty of back-to-back race weekends coming up, so I'm going to be absolutely knackered again. Yes. Love that. How about you?
I'm going to be exploring some local trails because I haven't really run in this part of the country at all, really. So I've been using Plotter Route a lot. I love Plotter Route as well. I find with Plotter Route, I mean, I'll jinx myself now, the routes tend to be sensible. It's not like bloody all trails where they're sending you in some really random place that's like really dangerous or whatever. Like Plotter Route is sensible people use that website, probably because it's like from the 90s or something, and there's just older sensible people use it. So yeah, I've got like a whole bank of routes in my watch ready to be explored. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing over the next few weeks.
Lovely. If you've enjoyed this bullshit, please visit runningsbs.com. You can see the show notes, the links from this episode, and the whole back catalogue, as well as links to our Patreon, merch on social medias. Bye. Wow.